And now for the Blu-rays. So this first one is kinda irrelevant because I had almost all the contents in here already, except for an exclusive bonus disc that I had almost all the contents for anyway, but the completist in me would just not stop thinking about it, so I picked up Harry Potter the Hogwarts collection. Now you're probably going, but wait a second, that set in the Wizards collection that looks like a luggage trunk costs a fortune. How the heck did you afford that? Because I got this set hella used, that's why. It also told me that it was missing a disc, but fortunately, it showed me exactly what disc was missing, and it wasn't the bonus disc. So I got the set, took the disc out, and then I put that in with my other Blu-rays that I showed you in the previous DVD and Blu-ray update. So, come on, get back in there. So, I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping this, because it's kind of superfluous at this point, because I already have all these discs out there as it is. But, yeah. It's nice to have that be complete in regards to this franchise. No, I'm not going to be bothering with the Fantastic Beasts because Harry Potter, like with Game of Thrones, to me, seemed a lot more like open the book, tell the story, close the book. Who knows, I might change my mind, I might. It's possible. Okay. Now this next Blu-ray is an independent movie that somehow managed to get a Blu-ray release, but from the bits of it that were posted on here, it seemed like a decently well-done movie, so I decided to give the movie a shot, liked it, and learned the disc was out, so I grabbed it. But here's the thing, though. This Blu-ray, I'm pretty sure, is the non-premium version of this movie, because when I put it in the player, it didn't match the cut of the movie that I paid for. And I don't think it's a difference of, like, PAL to NTSC or anything like that, because here's the thing. If you take a PAL DVD and then make an NTSC DVD, it works. But the other way around, NTSC to PAL, you have to speed it up. So, and Blu-ray doesn't have that issue. So, it's just a warning, okay? I made an Amazon review for this Blu-ray, even though I do like the movie, but it's just an acknowledgement of what it is that you're getting. Yeah, there's not that much to it. It's just a story about two women in Australia, one an Australian native, one a tourist, and they get trapped during COVID. The company that made that, though, has apparently made a few other films, but that's the only one that really jumped out to me as I'd like to see this plot. This is, to get this movie in better packaging, the Charlton Heston Ben-Hur movie. I've already shown you the DVD and the big Blu-ray set that I've got, but this is in better packaging, so there you are. And then, to get other movies in better packaging, the original Jurassic Park trilogy and the first Jurassic World movie. Now it's not like an Adidja pack with pages like it was before. I prefer just simpler packaging because I'm much more function rather than style, you know? And then I took the opportunity to get caught up with this franchise, with Dominion and Rebirth. Fallen Kingdom was already in that kind of packaging. This is the spoiler I mentioned in the DVD video. Back to the Future, the Ultimate Trilogy. For what I can tell, this has just about all the extras that were on the previous release of this. It was tough for me to figure it out, but also I know for a fact that this is like a digipack thing when you get to the packaging, so I'm probably going to buy them all again in the better packaging. I'm going to be doing that for Indiana Jones at some point. If you've been watching all my videos, you already knew I had this next one, the Winchesters, but like with the Caprica set that I have, this seems to be something that's only released internationally, even though the default for everything is English, despite what the back would lead you to believe. And even though this says season 1, it was cancelled, so there is only one season. Getting it up to date with the Doctor Who stuff, we have the David Tennant specials that they made, and then we have season 1 of the 15th Doctor, which is really series 14 or 15, I forget which one. Yeah, like, why did you have to just restart the numbering? And it seems like they are even doing that for the versions that you get in the UK. That is just beyond stupid. And if you're wondering why I don't have this guy's second season, it doesn't seem to be out on disc as of when I'm recording this. Yeah. So this was something that I got rid of, but then I was like, you know what, I kind of miss having this, because I had the good version, so I decided to get back Stargate Atlantis, the complete series. Unfortunately, though, this is where they combine seasons into a couple of cases, so I might get different discount down the line. I don't know, because I mean, like, it's kind of irrelevant because I have the DVDs for it and I have it all downloaded. Yeah. Still got to pick up that complete SG-1 set, though, for those exclusive bonus discs, though, and there's multiple. Getting up to date with another franchise, I picked up Final Destination Bloodlines, which is the 6th movie. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. It was a nice addition to the franchise. Nothing that you haven't really seen before, but nice. I'm glad that they finally put that out, though, because they had been throwing rumors along as to continuing with the franchise, and there was something about the 5th one being the last movie that they put out, but it's not really the last movie. I can't explain more without spoiling it. Thankfully, that movie's existence rectifies it, although it seems like they've kind of retconned a bit of the second one. Maybe I misheard, I don't know. The 2 Addams Family movies with Christina Ricci, Christopher Lloyd, and Raul Julia. Sorry, I am horrible with pronouncing ethnic names. I was never taught any of that when I was growing up. Stupid American school system. But I previously had a combo pack, now they're separate. I had a bootleg DVD of this, but now the official season is out. First season of the Wednesday TV show with Jenna Ortega. Ooh, I think the discs are loose. Yep. Oh well. Now this next bit is a franchise that I saw most of it growing up, but then the last one that they made, I was a bit too old for it, and it seemed like it was a reboot of the franchise. No, it's a proper sequel, just with different characters. Well, recently I got to decide to watch this franchise again, so now I've got the Spy Kids movies, and this is the 2D version of Free, so you don't need the glasses for it, but, oh my god, like, don't get me wrong, when I was young, I thought the graphics in this were amazing. Now, it's just like, real life is not a video game, you know? Eh. This, on the other hand, I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It's a proper continuation of the franchise, and it's good. The villain backstory in the 4th one is kind of weak, but I'm okay with it, yeah. That's a very worthy addition to the franchise. And then, as it turns out, they actually came out with another movie, Spy Kids Armageddon, that exists in the same universe, but it's viewed on its own. It was fine until the final confrontation with the villain, but I really appreciated the effort that they did in there. I do have the cartoon TV show downloaded. It doesn't have a disc release, nor does Armageddon. But I just wasn't in the mood to watch that cartoon, unfortunately. But one day I might. I don't think it's bad, I just wasn't in the mood. Because contrary to popular belief, I can't just watch anything that is put in front of me or talk about anything. You gotta be in the mood. Yeah. A trilogy of movies that I saw most of growing up, but it took me 10 years to end up watching the third one of these, just because life got in the way and it was such an easy film to watch. I just never did. Well, finally I was able to do it and pay my respects. The Night at the Museum trilogy. Rest in peace, Robin. There is a animated fourth one, but it focuses on the Ben Stiller's character's son. I can't remember his real name. Oh, and by the way, they have a different person playing him in the third one. But I wasn't the biggest fan of that cartoon. Oh, it was creative, but just didn't enjoy it. Oh well. Now, this is a franchise that I started talking about years ago on this channel. Never got around to finishing because real life got in the way, and that was when TV shows started becoming more sporadically released. But I'm like, I want to finish this franchise, and I've already got the comics. Why not get the show? So here, we got all 11 seasons of Walking Dead. Haha, yeah. So that's the entire original show. It doesn't seem like any of the spin-offs, except for maybe one, have disc release, and even then I think that spin-off is incomplete. So I do want to get back to that franchise, but I'm waiting for more of the spin-offs to finish, because it seems like, unlike Game of Thrones, they're actually truly continuing the timeline of this franchise. So I want more of them to finish up before I start getting into it. And then, of course, they could revive it after I get caught up, but that's life, you know? But here's the thing. If you want to get every extra, you also got to hunt down the special edition release of the first season. Now, I think most of those extras are the same, but there are some differences. What they are, though, I'm not sure yet. But I know it exists. Alright, now for some more singular movies that I've got. Hook. Man, like, what the heck was I complaining about this when I was a kid? Because I've been all over the map with this, like with the Star Wars prequels and Michael Bay's movie The Island. Fanboy kid, growing up a good amount, and then going, there's not much to this, and now I really appreciate it. Hella good movie. Such a bummer that Spielberg doesn't like it, because if you look at all the video releases of this movie, the only special feature seems to be that there's like a short making of thing that's out there. It's not even 10 minutes. Fortunately, some behind-the-scenes footage of the sets have come out, and it shows that the people making the movie, they had a blast. So, yeah, this really needs to be more respected. A movie called Paper Towns. My dad told me to watch this, and I was impressed by how much I liked it. I've never read the book that this is based on, but I would like to at some point. Surprisingly a nice movie. Helps make the concept of drafting people for any kind of sports team, even though this is football, a lot more tangible concept. Yes, the literal draft day scene is unrealistic, but it still helps make the process more identifiable, and I think that was a really nice thing that they did. when I was younger, my parents, more so my mom than my dad, showed us, my brother and I, this movie a few times, but now I'm old enough that I'll actually get the jokes that are in here. I can tell you most of the scenes that are in there, okay? Them meeting at the bar, the basketball game, meeting McConaughey's family, the fake counseling session. Huh? Right. But now I'll actually laugh now. Awesome. I mentioned this earlier. This way I can have the movie in HD, but now I have all the extras. This didn't have any Robert Redford movies in the collection while he was alive, and I'm like, I need to change that. Heard About That by Dumb Luck. Surprisingly good movie. And then this is a film that I saw a bunch of times as a kid. Always had a soft spot for it. Glad it has an HD release, even though I did pirate it anyway. Clockstoppers. Nostalgia, what can I say? Now, this is a movie that is part of a franchise that I do intend to try and get a lot more of, even though it seems like I'm going to have to do a lot of pirating and having to deal with dubbed versions of this, and I'm probably going to have to buy a lot of out-of-print DVDs, or basically out-of-print DVDs to get everything, but I'm real curious to see what this franchise is really about. Got the Criterion edition of Godzilla, and this has both versions on here. The original 54 Japanese version, along with the Americanized version that they made a couple of years later, where the main character is named Steve Martin. Yeah, that took some getting used to. Now, this is a movie that I saw the trailer of by dumb chance, gave it a whirl, and on its own, it's campy. You can point out multiple issues with it, and it's there more to just get the dollars, but it's not bad to watch and just turn your brain off, you know? And I do like most of the actors that they had in here. Neil McDonough, even though I butchered his name to smithereens, Michael Clarke Duncan, and Kristen Cruick. I cannot pronounce her name either, unfortunately. Street Fighter, Legend of Chun-Li, I think that's how you say it. Yet, although the killer is in the very last scene, they then tease what the video games are all about. That was kind of stupid. So this is a cartoon that I saw a few episodes of when I was younger, and I'm real happy that it's got a complete series release now, and I made sure to get the HD version of that, despite the fact that the pirate sites don't have the HD version of this, and I fully expect that this Blu-ray is going to go out of print soon, but hey, I wanted it, and I got it at a good discount too. Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Fun little show. Saw most of the first season before I got kind of bored because I wasn't in the mood to watch a cartoon when I was trying it out, but I'm like, I do want to watch some of it to just get re-familiar with it. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I hope. I'm just going to show you this one. Lightspeed Electroid Albagues. If you're familiar with the Voltron franchise, you would know that the original plans were to adapt free Japanese cartoons into an Americanized bit. Beast King Go, Lion, Dire Rugger 4 or 6, Armored Free Dire Rugger, there we go. And then this one, well, they never got to this one, no. But here's the thing. All Japanese cartoons that inspired the Voltron franchise were released online over the years, but I never was able to get this one. So when my favorite YouTuber mentioned that it was available as a standard def Blu-ray, I grabbed it, and then a couple months later I found it online. Oh well, still nice to have. And it's got subtitles, by the way, so I'm good. A nice little addition to the Stargate franchise. The Captain's Collection. Basically, Shatner goes to all, or just about all of his successors and interviews them about various things, because if you look at the front here, you've got one for all of the 5 classic shows, plus Chris Pine. Now, what I've got here is a bootleg of the TV series Lost Girl. This was when you had a lot of sellers on eBay selling Chinese bootlegs, but it seemed like that they had put a lot of effort into these, and they kind of did. So I bought this set, then I ended up having trouble with my credit card a couple weeks later, so the bank gave me a new card, but get this still showed up in the mail, so I decided to give it a whirl, even though I already had the whole show on disc and downloaded, and it's kind of hit or miss, because what they ended up doing was they put a lot more episodes on a disc than you would expect for some of the seasons, because seasons 4 and 5, they split those seasons into having 2 discs each, which is a little more than you want, but when I compared it to my HD downloads, they looked exactly the same. But these seasons, they put season 1 here, and season 3 here, all 13 episodes on one disc, and then they split season 2, which is 22 episodes, right down the middle. So the quality in here, while perfectly watchable, is like DVD quality, whereas if they had done one more disc for all 3 of those seasons, suddenly they'd all look perfect. So that's why I'm working on trying to figure out how to rip DVDs and Blu-rays, because I can make them look better. This is an HD upgrade of a show that unfortunately went out of print, but I have the whole thing downloaded right now anyway, and I have the whole thing on DVD, and they're perfectly watchable, though it'll be tough to go back after this. 2010 show Parenthood. Again, this is all out of print, and it was never released as individual seasons. Bummer. Alright, time to knock off some comic book stuff. This is the last stack, people. I got the latest adaptation of Watchmen, and this isn't a motion comic, okay? This is proper in-motion animation that follows the graphic novel a little bit more closely because, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the penultimate scene of this story, okay? If you read the graphic novel, you'll see that, Daniel and, what's-her-face, the chick, Laura, maybe? They have changed their appearances so that they can start anew at the end of the story, but if you watch the Zack Snyder movie, they don't change their appearances. Here, they change their appearances. Tiny little detail. Okay. This was a cartoon that I didn't think that I was going to get, but then I saw that it was out on disc for a decent price, and I'm like, alright, I'll get it. The Batman. So this is the cartoon where they're all designed a little less realistically, and they look kind of odd. From an artistic point of view, there's something about it that is nice to look at, but it doesn't work as well as like the Kevin Conroy cartoons in the 90s. Plus, get this, while you've got every episode on here, you don't have the Batman meets Dracula movie. That's never gone in the Blu-ray release, even though it's been remastered and is on the pirate sites. Come on! So I'm probably going to want to rebuy this, or get a custom cover at least. Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon with French on it. Hey, the listing that I had did say bilingual on it, so shame on me, I admit it. I am glad to have it, though. I kept thinking about this show, so I'm like, okay, even though I said I wasn't going to get this, get it. Adam West Batman. So yeah, they actually did release these in regular packaging, but you still have to get it as a complete season set. The seller didn't have the case that came with it. It's not a big deal. No, the complete series set does not come with the movie. And then finally, I had already bought this show multiple times over, but then my dad goes, "You've told me about this show before. They're offering it real cheap on Amazon and eBay. You should pick it up." And then I'm like, well, since I can replace half of the seasons, and those seasons are all consecutive, alright, I'll bite the bullet again. Smallville in good packaging. And get this. You remember how I was always saying that the complete DVD set came with exclusive bonus discs? Well, they came in here too. So now I've got 2 copies of these bonus discs. Nice, huh? So yeah, that made it worth it. That was totally worth it. Sure, it's a bummer that you can't rebuy the first 5 seasons, but I take good care of my stuff, so there you are. Alright, I'm real glad that I'm bringing this back. See you in 6 months with another update. I'll be making more videos. That was a bad choice of words. Horrible choice of words.